An advanced Russian air defense radar system is among the equipment captured by anti-regime forces in Syria as they continue their rapid push south, a development that has the potential for serious repercussions in the wider region. The Podlet-K1 radar system, also known by the designation 48U6K1, is one of the more modern pieces of equipment in the Russian inventory, has been employed in the war in Ukraine, and would be a significant intelligence windfall if it were to possibly find its way into Western hands. A photo of the captured Podlet-K1, which is mounted on a Kamaz 6358x8 truck chassis, appeared recently on social media, although when it was taken remains unclear. Furthermore, there's no confirmation of its exact location, although some have suggested that it was captured during fighting around the city of Hama, in west-central Syria. A logo that appears in the corner of the photo suggests that the rebels responsible for capturing the system were from the Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS). This has a long and involved history in the Syrian conflict and is spearheading the current assault toward the south. The photo shows the vehicle carrying the radar antenna in its lowered position. The complete system also includes another 2 trucks, an operator control station, and an energy support vehicle, which may or may not also now be in rebel hands. In promotional material, the Podlet-K1 is described as being optimized to detect aerial targets flying at low and very low altitudes. It does this using a phased array radar antenna, operating in the S-band and reportedly able to track up to 200 targets simultaneously. The main antenna is complemented by a pair of other radars used for identification friend or foe (IFF) functions. Introduced to service around 2018, the Podlet-K1 can be used alongside the S-300 PMU-2 and S-400 long-range surface-to-air missile systems, complementing their own detection radars and other sensors. The reported maximum detection range of the Podlet-K1 is 200 to 300 kilometers, 124 to 186 miles, although this would vary greatly in real-world situations, depending on many factors, including target type, altitude, and more. According to Ukrainian media reports, the complete system is worth around $5 million. It's not clear if the Podlet-K1 was formerly part of the Syrian armed forces, or if it belonged to a Russian unit operating in the country, although Syrian and Russian air defenses are already closely aligned in some respects. There are unconfirmed reports it was captured from the Syrian 25th Special Forces Division, although that doesn't preclude it from being a Russian-operated system co-located with this unit. Already, Syrian rebels have captured significant quantities of military equipment as they advance south, including tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, rocket launchers, and even aircraft. Other examples of air defense systems have also been captured, including this Panzer S-1 short-range air defense system. The Podlet-K1 would seem to be the most interesting item identified so far, however, on account of its modernity and the fact that, as far as we know, Ukraine has not managed to capture an intact one from Russian forces fighting there. At least 2 Podlet-K1 systems, or parts of them, have been destroyed by Ukrainian forces. One of these was within Russian territory when it was hit by a long-range drone strike in September 2024. Before that, another Podlet-K1 was apparently targeted by an M31A1 guided multiple launch rocket system, GMLRS, in the Kherson region of Ukraine. The war in Ukraine has already provided plenty of examples of high-end Russian military equipment being captured and then being subject to extensive analysis. This has even included some items being transported to the United States for a technical evaluation. Equipment captured in Ukraine has, in particular, provided insights into Russian electronic warfare capabilities, including containerized components of vehicle-borne systems, among them signals intelligence, SIGINT systems, as well as airborne jamming pods. The Podlet-K1 would be of significant interest to military intelligence agencies, especially those of the United States and NATO, providing insight into the capabilities of one of Russia's more modern air defense radars. Knowledge of the Russian military's ability to detect low-flying aerial targets over the battlefield, including drones and cruise missiles, but also helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, would be especially useful when it comes to fielding countermeasures. Having insight into the workings of the Podlet-K1 could allow the West to develop means not only of blunting its capabilities, but also of feeding it false signals and devising tactics to exploit its weaknesses, both in terms of operations and in the cyber realm. While the United States is well known for its extensive so-called foreign material exploitation (FME) programs, dating back to the earliest years of the Cold War, actually getting the Podlet-K1 into the hands of US or other NATO analysts is another matter. The situation on the ground in Syria is confused, and it's possible that the Podlet-K1 is no longer in anti-Assad forces' hands. There is also a possibility that it might have been destroyed by now, perhaps even being targeted by a Russian airstrike to prevent it from yielding any sensitive information. Bringing Russian-made equipment out of an active war zone outside of Ukraine is not impossible, however. In this case, one possible route out of Syria might involve the system being handed over via Turkish intelligence. Whatever happens next with the captured Podlet-K1 vehicle, its fate is emblematic of the dramatic progress made by the Syrian rebels in a short amount of time. The vehicle's loss is symptomatic of the regime forces, and their Russian backers, having been caught by surprise. As long as the rebel push continues, they are likely to get their hands on more equipment, and the capture of further high-end Russian items shouldn't be ruled out. Thanks for watching.